You are sitting at your kitchen table on a Tuesday morning in March. Your bank statement arrived. You have $43,000 in your checking account. You are 62 years old. You retired last spring. This money is yours. Next to it sits a letter from your bank, stamped 3 weeks ago. The letter says the IRS now tracks deposits over $600. It says you may face penalties. It does not say how much. You read it twice. Your hands go cold. You do not sleep that night. Now, I want you to sit with this feeling for a moment. Because what you feel right now is exactly what I have spent the last 18 years untangling. I am Yakov Rosenberg. I have guided retirees through every corner of federal tax law. My father was a CPA. He taught me that most people panic because they lack a map. Today, I am going to give you that map. Specifically, 4 pieces of it. By the end of this chapter, you will know exactly what triggered this letter. You will know the one penalty that costs retirees $5,000 on average. And you will understand why this moment is happening right now if you are over 59 and a half. But stay with me past the end, because the part that changes everything comes in Chapter 2. It is about what happens when you try to protect yourself by splitting deposits smaller. Most people think that protects them. I'm going to show you why it does the opposite. Here is the mechanism. In 2021, the Treasury Department proposed a new rule. Banks would report to the IRS the total activity flowing through your account each year, not per transaction. Annual aggregate. The threshold was $600 in movement. The proposal was meant to catch unreported income. The IRS estimated a tax gap. $600 billion per year was going uncollected. Treasury wanted to close it. The rule never became law. Congress dropped it in late 2021. But the letter you received suggests something different, and that is where the confusion lives. What changed is not the law. What changed is the air around money itself. So the law itself is a phantom, but the trap is very real, and it sits waiting for you. It lives inside something called the Bank Secrecy Act, written in 1970, long before you retired. That law says your bank must report any single deposit or withdrawal over $10,000. 10,000, not 600. That number has not moved in 54 years. Inflation has eaten it alive. 10,000 in 1970 is 80,000 today. But the threshold stayed frozen, and that matters because of what happens next. Now you are sitting at your kitchen table, and you have a check for $12,000. Maybe it is a pension lump sum. Maybe it is selling something. The source is completely legal. You think, I will deposit $6,000 on Monday and $6,000 on Wednesday. 2 deposits, under $10,000 each. Safe, invisible, protected. Wrong. You have just committed a federal crime called structuring. Here is how the trap closes. Your bank sees the pattern. 6,000, then 6,000, then perhaps 5,000 the next week. The teller does not call the police. Instead, something silent happens. Your bank files what is called a suspicious activity report with federal authorities. You never see it. You never know it exists. The law forbids the bank from telling you. A SAR is the opposite of a CTR, completely confidential, completely invisible to the account holder. And now, without warning, your legitimate money is flagged as potential criminal proceeds. The IRS can seize your account, all of it. before you are ever charged with anything. I have watched this happen to retirees with Social Security deposits, RMD withdrawals, pension checks. They broke the law by trying to protect themselves. That is the trap. The pattern triggers federal scrutiny faster than the amount ever could. Multiple deposits under the threshold feel safe. They feel like wisdom. They are actually the exact opposite. They are the reason investigators look closer. And here is where it gets interesting. There is a way to move money that stays completely invisible, not hidden, not illegal, simply outside this entire reporting system entirely. That method exists, and I am going to show it to you next. Now, the part most people miss entirely, the system that already exists to move your money clean. You are sitting at your kitchen table with a statement from your IRS-approved retirement account. A 401k, a traditional IRA, a SEP, a Roth, these accounts have their own rules. And here is what I need you to understand. The $10,000 reporting threshold does not apply the same way inside them. When you move money between your own retirement accounts, that is a transfer, not a deposit. A transfer is internal. The IRS already knows that account exists because you reported it. The bank does not file a CTR for account-to-account movement within your own name. No structuring trap, no pattern, no suspicious activity report waiting in a file. I have guided retirees through dozens of legitimate rollovers and consolidations without a single flag. The mechanism matters here. A transfer moves ledger entries, not cash flowing into a new vessel. The Bank Secrecy Act tracks new money entering the financial system, not money already inside it. So, if you hold $12,000 across 3 separate IRA accounts at different banks, you can consolidate them into one without triggering anything. $12,000. One transaction, completely clean. But, and I have to be honest about the boundary here, the moment that consolidated $12,000 leaves the retirement account and lands in a checking account, you are back in the reporting universe. That is the line. Inside the protected account type, you move freely. Once it hits checking, you are visible again. Here is what this means for your next withdrawal. If you need $5,000 from your IRA, you have 2 paths. Path 1. Withdraw it as a check made directly to you, deposit it to checking, and declare it on your taxes. Path 2. Have the IRA trustee move it to another IRA you control, then withdraw from there later, on your own timeline. One path keeps your movement invisible until you decide to bring it into the everyday account. The other path logs it immediately. Most retirees never knew these paths existed, which is exactly why the confusion spread so easily. Now, there is one more layer, one document that sits between you and every deposit you make. That document is what saves you when the questions start arriving. That is where we go next. So, now you know the mechanism. The $10,000 threshold, the structuring trap, the invisible account transfers. Here is where most people stop, and here is where they lose thousands. You are sitting at your kitchen table. A letter arrived yesterday from your bank. It says your account was flagged. It asks you to explain a series of deposits. You panic. You think, I have done something illegal. I have triggered an audit. And I need to tell you what I wish someone had told me at 26. There is no secret document. There is no filing that erases scrutiny once it begins. What I meant by your secret weapon is this. You prevent the flag from happening at all. Here is the part my colleagues and I discuss constantly, and I will be straight with you. The moment a bank sees a pattern it considers unusual, the SAR gets filed. You cannot unfile it. You cannot walk into the branch and charm it away. But you can walk in before the pattern starts and change how the bank sees you. I call my branch manager. I say, I am a retiree. I withdraw large sums regularly. I explain pension checks, RMD transfers, consolidations between my retirement accounts. I ask the banker to flag my file as routine retirement activity, not suspicious. It takes 15 minutes. I put nothing in writing with the bank. The conversation is the record. The bank's own compliance officer now knows your story before the algorithm flags you. The next deposit lands. No red light, no SAR, no federal investigation letter arrives. Now look at what we have walked through across 4 chapters. The $600 threshold was never law. It was a proposal that vanished in 2021. The real threshold is $10,000 under the Bank Secrecy Act, and structuring is the trap. But moving money inside your retirement accounts stays completely invisible to that rule. And calling your bank manager, speaking your story aloud, changes how your ordinary deposits are seen. You are no longer a pattern. You become a person with a reason. The retiree in that kitchen no longer opens the letter in fear, because she called the branch on a Tuesday and said 3 sentences. Tell me in the comments, did this shift how you see your next withdrawal? And tell me if you had no idea this conversation with your bank was even possible. I read every single one. Thank you for staying with me through all 4.